Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Craps. It's John here. Hey, Greg, Steven, how you doing? Yes, I did, Steven, catch your variation for the Headless Horseman. Somebody wrote me that same variation in chat over on Jeremy Colorup's channel. I'm going to do some Headless Horseman variations next week. I think next week's going to be Horseman week for me. This week I'm working the 4 and 10, obviously. And yes, I'm going to run that out. Good morning, Waylon. Nice t-shirt, by the way. Love it. But on the variation that you'd have, my initial thought was this, and I think Greg might have mentioned this yesterday. The strength of the horseman, to me, comes with the 3 early bets, right? You've got your strength on the 7 on your come out, obviously, after the come out. And each subsequent come bet, you're protected the whole way through. When you leave the odds on the come bets, at the smaller level come bet, that makes sense. I like that. I like having the odds turned off on the come out roll. That makes good sense. What I'm not in love with is that once you get your second come bet set, the third come bet doesn't help you with the 7 at all. Matter of fact, you lose money with it. So there's a math problem in there that we have to solve. But I think what you're going for is good. I think the ratio can change between the don't pass and the come bets. I think that the odds make sense. I think it's about when we place the odds might be the key here. So I'm going to work that for sure next week. Yeah, but today we're going to continue with the 4 and 10. Yes. By the way, I changed my microphone out. I'm using the same mic, but I changed some settings on some stuff. So hopefully you're not getting like distortion and it sounds okay. So this will be a good test of the new setup. I hope that it works. Any problems, just call it out in chat for me. So today we're going to continue on the 4 and 10 parlays today. So I'm going to switch. Yesterday we did what Ken has told me is called the Parlay System, which is basically you're pressing up and then you're working your way back down, like the ladder of the 4 and 10 from Waylon. Today, what I want to do is the parlay system. And I had this thought, and again, this is pure theory. I rolled it out last night just to see if it would work. I'll show you the thought that I've got. What if we did it something like this, where we say, from the right side of things, we do the regular Waylon sort of parlay strategy with my hard ways built in. Okay, so we'll do a $25 place bet on the 4 and 10, a 25 hard way 4 and 10. The place bets will go up a unit with each loss. We'll parlay all the wins. After a parlayed win, we'll pull back down. Okay, back down to the initial bet. The thing that makes this weird doing it this way, and Waylon, because you're here, you can kind of chat me through this. Let's say that we've got a $50 bet on the 10, and you've got your hard way 10 and the 10 wins. Normally your system, as I understand it, if you have a $25 bet that wins 50, you put 25 on each of the 4 and 10. So you spread that, you parlay across the 2 versus parlaying just the 10. If that's the way that you run that, I'll run it that way this morning. What that means is that I can't replace the hard 10 if I lose it, unless it comes out of my rack. So my rack is going to have to basically power press the parlay to make it work, which I don't love. I'd rather have the wins pay for everything. If you want me to parlay, if we take a $50 win on the 10, say, and I lose the hard 10, I'd like to replace the hard 10 and just press up the 10 by the 1, which means I'm not spreading the parlay out across the 2. So that might be a variation to your strategy that is not the best, because you'd like to have the magic of the 4 and 10 systems that they both, between them, have the chance to win, not just one of them. So spreading out the parlayed win, I think, makes sense there. So I'm probably going to do it the first way. We just spread the win across both, replenish the hard ways from my rack. That may impact our win. We'll see how that works. The second thing I'm going to do is a modified parlay based on the dark side that Andrew runs. So Andrew at Craps Down Under runs a parlay system where he does all the don't. And he basically lays the 4 and the 10. And it's the same idea where if you lose, and you're going to lose one, they're going to lose independently. The 4 could lose, the 10 not. You'll go up by a unit as you lose. If you win, you parlay. If you win your parlay, you go back down to your base bet. The base bet here is $50, and it won't be a pure parlay because of the math. Obviously, you can't just go from 50 to 75. I mean, you can, but they can't pay you $37.50. So we'll go from 30 to 80. We'll do it like that. So I'm going to do both as though I was playing with 2 players. And I've said this before. You know me, I'm always looking for ways to play as a team. You wouldn't play these two things with the same bankroll. Like the player, you're just going to hedge yourself all day long. But two players playing it separately on the same table could win with this. And it's funny, you would think that's not going to work because you're going to hedge against your partner if you do this way. But what I found in the trials that I ran on this yesterday was that you win at different times. And it's a matter of when the wins come. Yes, the 7 will kill both the 4 and the 10 that are on the right side. And yes, the 10s will beat the lay bets. But if you happen to win on the lay bets while you're parlayed, or you happen to win on your 4 and 10 while you're parlayed up, you can take a loss at a low level but win the parlays and actually still make money on both sides of this thing. So when I ran it last night, both players won. I had the parlayed player with a $1,000 bankroll. The parlayed player actually won like 300 and some bucks, the right side player, and the dark side player won like 150. So both players actually won. I think if you're in the same bankroll, you wouldn't have done so well. But this way, each player sort of works on their own level. It's interesting. I don't know that I would probably recommend that we do it, but I'm going to roll it out today with both. And I want you all to see what it looks like with the dark side, light side, and maybe you'll have a rooting interest into who wins here. And it's interesting because as I roll the dice this morning, I'm not going to really care if I roll 7s. I mean, we're going to see. It doesn't matter. I'm not trying to avoid anything. I'm just going to roll and hope for a positive outcome for both players, and we'll just see what's going to happen. So as far as the dice set goes, I'm going to do, again, not a set that I typically roll, but I'll get them set up for and I'll show you what we're going to do. Waylon has asked me to run this set, and because it's his essential strategy, we're going to run what he's asking. So it's going to be the 5-6. I'll show it to you here. It's the 5-6-3-5. Oh, there's the camera. 5-6-3-5. That's the set. Today I'm going to run underhand toss because, again, this is, although I'm running strategies and working through them with you, I'm also practicing. So I'm going to run today from the right side, the underhanded toss. Yesterday I ran from the left side with the Apache toss. So we're going to switch it up. Today's going to be the 4-spin from the right side, underhand toss with that set that Waylon is convinced that we're going to go and produce 4s and 10s for us. Let's see what happens. Let's go to the table here. I'm going to go ahead and turn on, let's see here. Let's turn on the camera so we can see the table and the light. And we should be able to roll it out here in a second. Let's get going. All right, there is the light. Where is the other camera? Oh, you know what? Hold on a second. You get to watch me sputter around here for a minute. I didn't put the iPad up before I started the broadcast this morning. So let's get the iPad set up here. This is a wide angle. All right. I'm actually in the works of getting another camera for this end of the table here so I can permanently mount it instead of using the iPad as such. So let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit to the landing zone. You should be able to see hopefully if the dice behave today, they'll all stay on screen. So there we go. All right, so we're all dialed in. My bankrolls are set up like this. I've got 2 separate $1,000 bankrolls in my rack. I've got 500 in black for each player. The player on this side will be the dark side player because it'll be obviously behind. The player here will be in the front. They'll be the right side player. They'll be in the front. What I'm going to do is use my lammers here to kind of help us decide where we are. So I was thinking about this last night, like what's the best way to sort of keep in line with where I am. So the lay indicator will be telling us when we're in that chase mode, when a particular bet has been added to because of a loss. So we're chase, like lay chase is what I'm thinking of here on that one. The other one is going to be the buy. So when I go to the buy side, that means that we've parlayed the bet. Okay, so as a bet gets parlayed, it'll be in buy mode. Now on the bottom side, because I'm going to parlay both bets at the same time, whenever a 7 comes and they both lose, They're both getting parlayed, so I just need one to let me know, am I chasing or am I parlaying? I just want to know where I am here with the bottom set, because they're going to really kind of go on the same rhythm, both the 4 and the 10. On the top, the dark side player, the 4 and 10 can lose independently of one another. So I'm going to use a separate buy and lay for the 4 on this side and the 10 for this side, so I know where I am in the process. So that's how we're going to run the rack here. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense as we go. I'm not sure how well they're coming across on camera. I guess I could move the light a little bit here and make it a little bit more obvious. That might help a little bit. There we go. So that's the plan. We're going to use the Lammers to kind of tell us where we are in our progressions here, and the dice will decide the rest. So that's it. I'm looking here at Waylon. The 4 and 10 works good at high level. Up 50, down 50. You know, I could do that. With a $1,000 bankroll, probably not enough money. Let's do it at a quarter level today, just to get a sense of it. And then if it wins, it wins. And your percentage would be a lot higher, obviously, at the higher level. Let's roll it with the base level. I'm not going to play with the puck today. We're going to be on all the time. So the point doesn't matter at all. And as such, I'm not going to play the lay the back wall today. I don't want to confuse the visual on these two strategies. So with that said, player 1 is going to go lay 4, lay 10 from the front of the rack. Player 2, we're going to go, these are going to be buy bets, 50 or 25, 25, 10 and 10. That's how we're going to start this thing out. Again, we're not going to deal with VIGs today. I know that VIGs are part of the game and they're important for the casino. They're not important for us today to count the number of wins, okay? At the end of the day, they're going to take their money from us as we pay. I'm not going to deal with white chips and pennies and everything else today. I want to just roll, and we're looking for win counts as we practice here to see which strategy performed better, and a few dollars in the VIG does not make the difference on that. So that's what I got to say about that. Here we go. So our first come out roll, again, it's going to be a little bit slow because I'm going to be setting and working the underhand toss. So it won't be like a million rolls, but let's see how we do. We're going to come out with a 1, 2, 3. So out of the gate, a bit of a shocker here out of the gate. That's going to be back to there. Look at me making a mess. Here we go. Okay. This dice set for me is not natural, to get to, so it takes me a minute to get them set. There's a 1, 3, 4. All right, so what happens on this is a couple things. One is we're going to lose our hard 4 off the bat. This 4 here for the right side player is going to pay, and we're going to parlay the win. Try and get a second win. So that's going to put us into this buy mode over here. Now I am going to, out of the rack, replace the hard 4. That's going to be the thing that I'm not loving about this, which is digging into the rack to replace the hard ways where they lose. Now, a parlayed win here on something easy to repay the hard ways. Net. When you're at flat bet, doesn't quite work so well. The don't player is going to lose their $50 4, and so that's going to have to go to 75, 80 bucks. I'm going to take this quarter and get nickels for it. We're going to go to 80 on that one, so we're going to go up a full unit, or as close to a unit as we can. I'm going to indicate also that the 4 now is in lay mode. Okay, so the 4 now is in chase mode. That's going to need to get a hit, parlayed, and hit on the 7 here for that thing to pay us off. The 10 is still stable. So that's how we're going to run this thing. And again, I'll try and talk you through it as I go here. There's a lot of moving parts. Even on a simple strategy like this, there's many moving parts to it. So let's get rolling here. All right, there's an 8, which does nothing for us. All right. Okay. Here we go, dice are up. That one was kind of nasty out of the hand, but another 3, 1, 4. So that's a good deal. We lose the hard 4 again. But this parlayed 4 here This parlayed 4 is going to win 100. I'm just going to pay it with a black chip like that. And this can come back down. So once you hit your parlay, you're back down to square again. So we're going to put those back in the rack. I'm going to rack the black here and replace the hard 4. Okay. This player here at $80 loses again on that 4, so we're going to lose 80. Okay. The next nearest unit would be 100. Okay, so I'm going to pull a black chip out. We're going to go to 100 on the lay. So we went from 50 to 75, but actually 80. Now we're on our fourth or our third level here at 100 for that person. The 10 is still safely in play. Okay, that was my quarter to get the nickels. Here we go again. Okay, dice are out. A lot of action there. 6, no effect. Okay, set. Dice are out. There's a 7 out. Okay, so here's a case where it comes at an interesting time for us. Okay, the 7 out comes after the right side better hit the parlay and they're back down to their base bet, the 7 comes. So you don't get hurt by the 7 as bad as I would have got hurt a roll ago. We're still going to lose all 4 of those bets though. All right. Now here's an interesting thing. The 10 at 50 is going to pay a quarter. The 4 at 100 is going to pay 50. Okay. Now we got to parlay them both. So they're both going to be in buy mode now. Okay. This goes off because now we're we're going to be in lay mode here on those in a minute. So these both get parlayed up. Boom and boom. That's got to be 80, not 75. So both the 4 and the 10 are parlayed after that 7 win, trying to go for it here. The other player, because we lost on that roll, they're going to come out at the $50 level. We're going to jump right up here and be in chase mode and put $50 on the hard 4, hard 10. Now this hard 4, hard 10 thing out of the rack, again, I'm not loving it, but it is what it is. All right, here we go. That's going to be a 5, 6, 3, 5, and here come the dice. Ooh, 5, 2, 7. Interesting. Okay, here's, again, one of those things where when you win matters. Okay. So the good news is we're going to take away this player's money. We're going to take all this away. They're going to need to go to level 3 here and press up a little bit. They're going to be at $75 per bet on the 4 and 10. This player back here is going to get paid all over the place. 150 here is going to pay 75, and 80 there is going to pay 40. Okay, because they were parlayed up, we're done with that sequence for that player. I can move those out of the way. And all this can come back to the rack. And we'll put them back at their original bet level, which was $50 on each lay. And so I'll rack the black. And put the hundos back in there. And that person's rack is reset. Person in the front, oh, missed one here. Person in the front is now going to need to go to 75. So we're going to have to pull 150 out of the rack here. And again, we're still chasing the 4 and the 10. I'm still going to, against all advice, most likely, put the 4 and 10 hard ways up. I'm just going to check chat here, make sure I didn't miss anything wrong. Yeah, the 150 loss in the lay was hard swap, but we got it back. There's a lot here going on. But it's interesting. You'll see, like I said, the money moves around pretty interestingly. And again, it's a matter of when you win, not if you win, because they're both going to win. You're going to hit your 4s and 10s. You're going to hit your 7s. And it's a matter of who's doing what at what time. So here we go. We're in chase mode on the front side player. There's going to be I can't tell what that is. It looks like it's a hard 8. No effect. There's the 5, 6. There's the 3, 5. All right, dice are out. 4, 1, 5. Okay, here we go. Dice are set. And we're coming out. That's going to be a easy 10, an easy 10. So again, we're going to lose over here on the hard 10. The easy 10 gets paid 100.5, which is pretty sweet. Okay. Now again, we were chasing there. Okay, we were in that chase mode, so we're going to have to parlay this win now to kind of make this thing right. And again, with a 150 win, I should pay that in greens actually. We're going to go like this. I'm going to actually put 2 units on each. I'll use that win to pay the hard 10 back, and I will rack a quarter on it. So now we're parlayed up, and now we're in buy mode for a frontline player. That easy 10 takes away the $50 on the 10. We're going to come back to that with an $80 lay. Again, we're going to press it by the 1 unit to chase that loss. Here we go. I think I've got this all right. If I'm missing a play in here, I'm sure you'll let me know in the chat. I'll keep my eyes up so I can see that. But yeah, there's funny how 2 bets can be so many moving parts, but you're trying to manage a few players at once. It makes you respect what dealers are doing, frankly, because there's so much going on here. Even with just these 2 little plays, dealers really have a special place in my heart in terms of the amount of math that they do and keeping it happening so incredibly fast. I mean, that's why we tip them, right? Here we go. Boy, hitting a 10 here would be awful nice, wouldn't it? There's a 9, 5, 4, 9. Okay, let's go 5, 6, 3, 5. Okay, dice are up. Not a great throw, but it's a 4 for the easy way. Okay, so for the easy way, again, we're going to lose our hard 4. Okay, the parlayed 4 had there's had 125 on it. 125 was going to pay 250, which is a pretty good little win right there for the frontline player. And because we were in buy mode, now we can go back all the way to our initial bet. Those losses hurt, but we're back to square, and I can actually put back the hard 4. And we're back. Okay, we're going back to the rack. I'll reset the rack here in a second to make that make sense. The other player here on the 4 is going to lose. And we'll have to go ahead and chase that loss with a $75 bet, make it 80 to make it clean, and now we're there. Let's go ahead and reset this mess I've got in the racks so we can see where we actually stand. So right side player looks like they're a little bit ahead here. There's going to be, there's 500, 800, 9,000. He's up by $100. Looks like more than that, but it's a $100 win so far. The don't player has 500, 600, 775 bucks. So the don't player is down here a little bit, minus the reds, of course. The reds are not really, they're just there to kind of make things even. So here we go again. 5, 6, 3, 5. Waylon, looks like your dice set here seems to be producing 4s and 10s, which is pretty cool. Again, I've never thrown it until just now. So here we go. There's a 7. As I say that, of course, right, we burn ourselves. But check this out, right? This is kind of interesting. And this is what I'm noticing last night is the 7 did come, which does whack the frontline player. But it whacked him right after the big parlayed win. So yeah, you lose $100, but they just pocketed like, I don't know, about 300 or so. That's solid. That's the whole point of this thing, right? Is that it's when you win, when you lose is important. Now, in the 7, both of these are going to pay. So here we've got 80. That's going to pay 25, 40. And I did not have my chasers up here. I'm sorry. I should have had the chasers up there. And here again, we're going to pay 40, 25, 40. Now, those get parlayed because, again, we just won one. We're going to parlay them up. So we have, right now, I've got 80 and 40. That's 120. We're going to go ahead and change the greens in for a black. Go to 120. The same over here. I'll do it off screen. Okay, so here we are both in buy mode on the backside player. The front side player is now chasing that little loss that we just had. They're going to 50. And again, I will replace the hard ways. So now they're in chase mode. So we have parlayed, rack 'em and reduce. Frontline player is going to be in chase mode. They're going to have to take a hit and then win a parlay to make this work for them. So here we go. There's the 5-6 and the 3-5. Dice are set, and they're out. Awful throw, which is an easy 10. 10 the easiest way possible. So now we're going to be chasing big time, okay? Frontline player, we're going to lose our hard 10, which is a bummer. But they're going to pay on the hard 10 $100. I'm going to replace the hard 10. I'm going to parlay both the 4 and the 10 to 75 bucks. I will rack a quarter. I'm not going to parlay the whole thing. So the frontline player is good. This player here has now lost 120. So we're gonna take that away. Their next possible level is 150. Now the 10 independently is being chasing to 150 now. So I raised them up to 150. So here, the 7 actually is interesting. Now we got things kind of all over the place. Now the 7 at this moment would be a disaster for the frontline player, but pretty good win for the backline player. Here we go. Dice are going to be out. That's what I wanted to see. Good roll there. It's going to be a Yo 11. Haven't hit one hard way today, which is interesting. Not one hard way. We'll have to. I don't know, man. The set seems to get the easy ones, but not the hard ones. Here we go. So it's going to be a 5-6, 3-5. Dice are set. Cocked and loaded. Here we go. That was a fun throw. That actually felt good. That's the 3-2-5. This underhand toss, I think I talked about this last week. I really just learned it. I just started throwing it because I was trying to find a way to throw from the right side of the table. And it's very comfortable. Like I said, my shoulders and all that kind of stuff, it feels good. I feel like I'm kind of just winging them down there, but I'm getting the feel for it now. There's a 7. Okay, good. 7 comes. That'll make Greg happy for sure. And again, it's when it happens, it's a disaster for this player, okay? We're going to lose our hard ways, okay? And again, we were already in chase mode here, so we're at the $75 level. This guy has to come back out now with hundreds. We're going to go hundreds on the 4 and 10 and replace the hard ways. That was an expensive little gambit right there for the frontline player. The backline player, though, has 120 on the 4 and 150 on the 10. So he's going to get paid 60 here, 50, 60. And on the 10, he's going to get paid 75. Okay, we were in parlay mode there, right? Or we were in chase mode there. I think I had that wrong. We were in chase mode because we had taken hits. So these are not parlay. These were chase bets. Now we're in parlay. I didn't change the lammers. Now we're in parlay mode. No. I did parlay them up, didn't I? I did. These were parlayed up. This all can come back to the rack. My mistake. Sorry. And we're gonna go back. I'm gonna take this money here and put us back at the original bet amount of 50. And rack this all up. So now we're going to come to the rack, and what felt like a horrible turn of events earlier, this player has now rallied. Okay, now we're back to, we have $500, $600, $700, $800 in the rack plus a bunch of reds. That player's rallied pretty well, and now the other player feels like they're down. So you're definitely kissing your sister here. If you're playing this out of one rack, it ain't good. You can see that it's playing both sides of the table doesn't always work out well. Again, last night both players made money because of when the hits happened, not so much because they happened. And I think I'm seeing the same thing here. We have some back and forth action. I'm going to play this for another few results, and then we'll call it. Okay, here we go. Dice are out. Another 7. All right, so the back line player is going to win a quarter on each of those. We're going to add a quarter and bring them both to 80. And those are both now in buy mode. Those are, I didn't change them back in. Those are now parlayed. Awesome bets. Frontline player gets hammered and loses 250. So now we're going to go to 150 on each of these, 125 on each of those rather, and we'll go back to here. And now what was a profit is now a enormous deficit, but that can be made up very quickly. These parlay bets pay off. They pay off pretty quick. So we are going to be in chase mode here. We're in parlay mode here. Okay, here we go. Dice are out. That's going to be the 1, 2, 3, the right side shocker. Right side shocker. Here we go. Let's get a result that we can pay on. I'm actually surprised. I'm not sure if you all are. Maybe leave a note in the chat if you are surprised by how often we're getting paid here. I'm really surprised by the number of times I've paid the front line on the 6s, on the 4s and 10s, and how many times the 7. Oh, there we go. Finally some love for the front side player. How often I'm getting paid here, which it's kind of fun. So on the 4 at 100 a quarter, right? There's a $250 win. Okay, and again, we were in chase mode. We're gonna have to press this back up still, right? So we're gonna press that, but on the hard 4, it pays 175, which is great. I'm gonna take the 175, I'm gonna take 50 of that and press those 2 up. We're gonna rack the black and the green, okay? Now, we go and press these up, because we were in chase mode, now we're in buy mode. I got 250 on each of them. We're going to be in parlay mode over there. That was a 4. So we're gonna lose, what is that, 80 bucks here? We're gonna come back with 100, which is our next possible unit. Now the 4 is in chase mode. So the 4 is being chased, the 10 is on parlay. So these two, again, they can definitely win and lose independently. Now, a 4 or a 10 here is you're going to be your best friend. A 7 here is going to be a killer for that frontline strategy. So again, it's all about the win. It's all about the win. Here we go. Guys are out. That's going to be a 5. Does nothing. 5, 6, 3, 5. Okay, here we go. Dice are out. Not a great throw, clearly, because it turned into a 7. This die here never made the back wall. One of them did. That's a borderline no roll, I suppose. So here's what we're going to happen. We're going to lose a bunch. We're going to lose our pressed up hard ways. These were in parlay mode, but they had 250 on them each. They're going to convert from parlay to chase. They're going to be a chase bet now, and I got to go to 275 to make that up. This is where these chase strategies will sort of hurt you, so let's remember that's 275 each. Up here, though, the 4 was chasing, so it's going to win 50 for 100 here. We're going to press that up. I'm actually going to exchange the bottom for a black. So 4 goes to 150, and it goes into buy mode. The 10 was at 80. It's going to win 40. Right? It was bought before. Now we're just going back to the root bet. So the 10 independently went back down to the root level. The 4 in that one got pressed up. All right, so here we are. The don't better is set. The frontline better has to go to 275. 200. We might be out of money here. 200. And I only have enough money to do it once. There's 4. 275. We're going to need to have a chase win and a parlay win on the 4 and the 10 to get ourselves back in the game. I've seen it done. It happens. Let's hope that my dice set today and my great throwing helps the strategy. Let's see what happens here. Dice are out. That's going to be a hard 10. And unfortunately, we were out of money and don't have the hard 10 in place. But because we are in chase mode, right, that is 275. So what does that pay? It pays 400, 550. Okay, there's 550. And again, we're going to be parlay mode now. So we're going to press these things all up. But what I'm going to do here is press them both up by 200. Actually, we'll go to 2. We'll press them up by 2 1/4, which will make them both an even 500. We'll take the black back to the rack, okay? The 10 loses over here. That player now is going to go to 80 bucks. And the 10 is now in chase mode. The 4 is still in parlay mode. The 4 here from before was parlayed. So we're looking to collect on the 4, on the 7, and reduce it back down. The 10 has got to get, it's got to get pressed up one time. 5, 6, 3, 5. Here we go. It's going to be a 8, 6, 2, 8. No effect. 5, 6, 3, 5. Here we go. Dice are out. Another 8. Okay, here we go. 5, 6, 3, 5. 6. No effect. All right, we're set. And here we go. Who you rooting for, everybody? Who are we rooting for? Another, oh, that's a 7. Ooh. That ends the game for the frontline player. They have $100 left and they're done. The backline player on a 150 will win 75. On the 80 will win 40. And that will do it. Let's count it up and see where we landed here. Look at this in the rack. All right, pull the rack up here so we can see it in the light. Okay. The backline player is going to have, so there's 500 in black. There's 100 in black. There's 100 in green. We'll put a lammer in the way there. That's another 100 in green. Another 100. Another 100. And the reds, I'll color them up. There's going to be 75. 75. So we have, for the backline player, we have 500, 600, one black there, 7, 8, 9, 1,000, $75 profit. The other player lost 900 bucks. So a lot of chip movement there for not a lot of reward. There were times when they were both up significantly, which actually worked out. Yeah, that last 7 Zeph was devastating. It was brutal. And it just comes at the wrong time. But imagine, if you will, go back to my screen here. Imagine if that 7 had come one roll later. What if that was the time you got the 4 or the 10 with the $500 bet? You're back to even and you come back down, right? And again, it's about when it happens, not if it happens. You're going to hit the 4 or 10 at some point. You saw how many times I hit it here, but in that case, it's just a matter of timing. Just a matter of timing. So yeah, if we would have hit that one roll earlier, we'd have been having a whole different conversation about who won and who lost. So, but it's fun to see that. This is actually what you'd expect to happen, and frankly, it's literally exactly what I would expect. If you're betting the same numbers on the right side and the lay betting, look what happened, right? The difference in money is exactly what you'd expect. One player lost 900, the other player won 75 bucks. That's what you'd expect. One guy loses everything, one guy wins just enough to stay alive, right? That's what should happen when you're betting against yourself like that. So, yeah, Waylon is yelling at me. I'm doing it wrong. I'm adding money to the parlay. loss when I lose. Explain to me that there. So let's talk about what I'm doing there. So when I parlayed it, when I lost the parlay, I did add money to it. Well, should I not be doing that? I guess, is that what you're saying? I shouldn't be doing it. If I got that wrong, let me know. I can change that tomorrow. I'm going to run this again tomorrow with a couple of tweaks to it. And I kind of like I said, I like how often we win with it. It's just that today, this bad timing. So yeah, Waylon, I'll wait for your response in there. I'm just going to go through the chat here real quick and see. G-Dub, hey, glad to see. I didn't see it rolling earlier. Yeah, the landing zone is really important. What I'm finding with the forward spin toss is definitely I'm not consistent with the landing zone, right? So when I roll them in, I have a better result, but I know that's not the right way to do this for sure. Zaf says, "Kiss my sister." My hockey is showing 100%, right? That's what we call ties in hockey. So that's funny that nobody probably knows that reference. Anyway. Yeah. So yeah, I did. So I did press them up, and I probably shouldn't have. Fun strategy though. I think that those are both fun to play. I actually like it a little bit, and you notice that earlier on, I could have stopped if I was on the right side. There was a moment there where we were up by a few $100. If I would have pulled it all down and walked, you'd have been okay. I just ran this through, I think, to a devastating end, I suppose, just to see how long it would go. Eventually, you saw what happened, right? You're gonna get whacked at some point. So, all right. So tomorrow, same strategy tomorrow. We're gonna run the 4 and 10 strategy again. I'm gonna do some different stuff with it. I like where it's headed. I definitely like the parlay better than the ladder or the De Lambert. I think that the ladder, to me, requires too many wins in a row to recoup your losses. I think it's with the 4 and 10, they don't come fast enough for that to be viable. So I like the ladder better. Waylon, I'm not sure which one you have better success with when you play it, but to me, the ladder feels dangerous to me. So I like the parlay play. I like the hard way play. I want to find some other motion in there as well. But yeah, I think we're onto something. Actually, it's a little better. Yeah, I pressed up the parlay loss. And the reason why I did that, Waylon, was I was watching Andrew's video last night, the Craps Down Under version of this on the don't side. And that's what he was doing on the don't side. He was like, he'd take a loss and he would get a win in parlay. If he lost his parlay, he would actually increase on top of the parlay instead of going back down to root, which I think is interesting because he kept, and again, the dice play like they're supposed to, that actually is what recovers you. And we would have recovered nicely here if we would have hit something. But yes, I lost way quicker as a result of that being aggressive. And that was more of an Andrew thing for sure. I pulled the aggressiveness from his don't strategy and I applied it to both strategies. So tomorrow I'll play that at a tempered down level and we'll see if we can get a more stable result for sure. And like I said, I may run some other stuff along with it to see if we can't, mitigate some of the loss and or capitalize on some other things. So with that said, I think that's all I've got for you this morning. Again, thanks everybody we're crushing it here. I got to tell you, I'm not to brag or anything, but when I watch these live streams back and I see how many people were in the stream, it's amazing. Like, we're not getting 2 people to show. We're getting 25 and 30, and we had 40 people the other day watch one of our streams live, which is 3-4 times what most other channels are doing on their live streams. I think it's awesome. I love seeing all the people kind of coming together in the morning like this. It's really cool, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. The support, the strategy that are coming in, and the comments, good and bad. I get comments that are like amazing and comments that are like super negative. I don't care. The fact that folks are engaged enough and feel like you can say whatever you want to say to me, that means that we're hitting a new level here, which is there's this comfort between myself and everybody else. So I think that's great. I see that George here. Sorry, George. I'm going live every day about 8 o'clock or so in the morning. Yesterday, good session. Today, not so much. My throwing yesterday from the Apache toss was great. Today's underhand toss, not so much. But I'm working on it. That's what we're here for. So anyway, that's it. I will see you all tomorrow morning. Thanks again for coming. Like, share. I know you're subscribed, but let your friends know. Appreciate all the support. God bless everybody. Thanks. Bye.